Hey guys, today we're going to check our Pythagorean theorem practice. So take a look at number 1. First we want to ask ourselves, do we have C or do we need C? So find your right angle and point across. So it looks like we need C. I know it calls it X on here, but it's really the C. So I'm going to label these A and B. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I said A was 9. I said B was 12 equals C squared. So 9 times 9 is 81. 12 times 12 is 144 equals C squared. They're on the same side, so I do what it says. So I'm going to add 81 plus 144 is 225. And my last step is going to be to take the square root. See here, take the square root of 225, and so C equals 15. So in this case, my X or my C equals 15. Number 2. So first I check, do I have C or do I need C? So go across, draw your arrow. It looks like I need C, so whatever C equals will be my X. So I have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Remember, A and B you choose. Either one, it doesn't matter. So I said A was 10 squared plus B is 24 squared equals C squared. 10 squared is 100 plus, let's see, 24 squared is 576 equals C squared. They're on the same side, so I'm just going to add those. So I get 676 equals C squared. Take the square root of 576, and you get 24. So that missing side was our C, so X equals 24. Take a look at 3. Do I have C or am I looking for C? It looks to me like I don't have. I need C. So I'm going to say A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I'm going to say 7 is A. I'm going to say 3 is B. So 7 squared plus 3 squared equals C squared. 7 times 7 is 49. 3 times 3 is 9. And it looks to me like I will add 49 plus 9. You get 58 equals C squared. My last step is to take the square root. So I want the square root of 58, which is about, and it says to round to 1 decimal place, so 7.6. So my C, or they're calling that the X, same thing guys, is 7.6. Now let's take a look at 4. Let's find our right angle. And it looks to me like they gave us C. So my X that I want to find, I'm going to call that B. And I'm going to call this one A. So for number 4, write your formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I said A was 6 squared plus B squared equals C is 10. So I've got 36. Plus B squared equals 10 times 10 is 100. In this case, I'm going to subtract. So I have B squared equals, I think that's 64, but I'm going to use my calculator to double check. Yep, B squared equals 64. So when I take the square root of 64, I get 8. So my missing side, which I said is B, is 8. So X equals 8. Okay, let's take a look at 5. Do I have my C? And yes, I do. So I'm going to call 6A, and my X that I'm looking for, that's going to be my B. So let's plug that in our equation. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So I said A was 6 squared plus B squared, C. I'm looking for the B. And my C is 24 squared. 6 squared is 36, plus b squared equals, we said 24 squared is 576. I'm going to subtract 36 from both sides, so b squared equals 540. My last step is to take the square root of 540. And remember they said to round to one number, one decimal place, so 23.2. So in this case, my x equals 23.2. And last but not least, number 6. So first, do I have my c or am I looking for c? Well, it looks like in this case, I don't have c. So whenever I solve that, my answer will be the x. So a and b are both 1. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. 1 squared plus 1 squared equals c squared. So 1 plus 1 equals c squared. What is 1 plus 1? 2. So my last step is to take the square root of 2. And when I do that, I end up with about 1.4. So in this case, my x, which was my c, is 1.4.